this time, I'd like to open the floor for a very few questions, if anyone has questions at this time, and we'll have more Q&A opportunities later. But do we have any questions? Ma'am.
So wondering in your mobile phone financial solutions, if you tried or have had experience using the following. I did some work in a refugee camp in Dadaab in Kenya, and one of the thoughts we had was if we could connect people in the camp who aren't allowed to work because of Kenya's laws related to the refugees with people in other countries through the internet and train them to do internet-based work, then how would we do that financial payment or transaction? And one of the things we discussed was using actually the vendors who sell cell phone minutes so that you can do a financial transaction and then that person pays, you know, instead of going to buy cell phone minutes, you go and you have some kind of code on your phone, and that person pays the refugee or the village person the payment. Have you done that? Has it worked? Have you run into problems with theft?
So the cell phone based mobile financial services, we have plenty of ideas. We have done plenty of experiments with it. One first thing we have done is, if you think about in Bangladesh, for example, is 30% of our population have mobile phones. So even if you give financial services to all the subscribers, you still have 70% of the population. They're not going to have the financial services. So number one, how do you make your idea more inclusive? So one thing we have done is, again, think about the village phone lady. So could you have village mobile financial lady type ideas where in a village, somebody who has access to mobile phone and access to the money could cater to people who does not have the mobile phones. So the money goes to that village lady and she distributes and everybody pays her, send the money back, right? Now, your question in many ways is, in most of the countries, including Bangladesh, what you're referring to is the top-up services. So it's the telephone minutes being transferred between people. That is becoming very, very common. If you're thinking about real credit and the real money, the loading and unloading could happen in every single channels. So for example, how do you really put money in your mobile phone? So if you have a bank account, it's very simple. You can access to the bank and withdraw the money and your credit comes to your mobile phone. If you do not have the bank account, which is our core customer, our core audience, you can walk up to a store and give them cash and say that, could you transfer that cash to my mobile, right? Or you could walk up to a bank, or you could walk up to your friend and say, here is the cash. Would you kindly transfer the credit that you have in your phone to my phone? So loading part is, there are multiple ways you can do it, and everybody can have access through that. Unloading is very similar also. If you are going through the taxi and your taxi driver has a mobile phone, you just pay him from your mobile to his mobile. And you can walk up to a store again and cash. So you can send the $100 credit from your mobile phone to the cashier or the shopkeeper, and he pays you the cash. So the loading and unloading situation we have discussed, and I think we have plenty of ideas to solve. Other part is think about going beyond that. So we are even thinking about prepaid cards for people who do not have bank accounts and do not have mobile phones. So I'll be very happy to share all sorts of ideas because we are doing a project for Mumbai slums with Yes Bank, and they have similar issues. No bank accounts. Many of them do not have mobile phones, but they are transacting huge amount of money. If you think about the $1-a-day population in the world, and if you think about their economic strength, it happens to be about $6 trillion a year. Okay. So in our mind, again, I'm saying that you can see them as challenges or you can see them as opportunities for you.
And maybe one more question back here.
You mentioned that you were also working on some plans for. You mentioned that you were also working on some plans for mobile-based education services. I'm just wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on what that's going to look like.
So this is a project we are going to do with Instead and UNICEF. The idea was, number one, can we come up with a solution that will really excite people first? That is our first goal. Second goal, I want to make that happen through education services. So hopefully, the kids will get more encouraged and they will see how easily they can access the information. This particular project happens to be related to the idea that in Bangladesh, or in most of the developing countries, your 10th grade exam and the 12th grade exams happens to be a national exam. So it's nationalized, right? So in Bangladesh, 9th grade students and the 10th grade students study the 10 subjects. So everybody studies the same book, same subjects. And that population is about 2 million. So 1 million in the 9th grade and the 1 million in the 10th grade. So every single year, your population is going to remain 2 million for the 10th grade courses, right? So our idea is that each of these subjects, physics, chemistry, and math, and all those things, and their multiple choice questions, could the students really access that questions through mobile phones? So you could pick a subject, say chemistry, and through your mobile phone, if you're trying to take some tests, random tests, so you can pick them by subject or particular chapter. You want to test your knowledge on the particular chapter or particular topic, for example, the phosphoric acid or something, right? So you pick that topic or the chapter or the whole book, and you can access the tests so that you can it will randomly generate questions for you, and you pick the multiple choice question. If it is wrong, it will come up saying that it is wrong. The right answer should be this, and these are the reasons it is wrong, and these are the reasons it is right. If it is a right question, a right answer, again, it will tell you that, yes, this is the right answer, and these are the reasons it is right. So this is an idea we think it will excite people about the technology and about education. So this is the first thing we want to do, and we have plenty of other ideas related to education that we want to embark on. And Christopher and I were discussing today that we are not only making the announcement that we are taking on this. I think by this time next year, I think we want to share the result, the impact, the excitement that we have created. So that would be our pledge today.
Kazi, thank you very much. I'd just like to conclude. Kazi's speech was entitled Challenges and Opportunities, and I think he's challenging all of us to identify the opportunities for innovation. Harvard University recently wrapped up their business school about a decade of research into innovation, trying to find the magic spark of creativity. And contrary to what my colleagues in Silicon Valley may think, it isn't about beanbags and foosball tables and free lunches. Innovation turns out to be about good management in their estimation. The question is, how do we apply that lesson to developing sustainable innovation in the developing world? What does it mean to put in good management in these environments? So thank you very much.
Thank you.